Hello and welcome to this video series where I pit two randomly selected games from my game collection against each other. And I do this to see which of these two games I would rather prefer to play. But with my game collection being so big as it is, with my calculations being that there's still 772 games left to be chosen, I genuinely won't know what two types of games will be chosen. It could be a very popular first-person shooter that everyone is familiar with, or it can be a very obscure 3D chess game that me and only other 10 people have probably played. But we just won't know until the wheel has spun, which brings us to today's spinnings. Let's get right to it. And now for my second spin. And there we have it, our two randomly selected games that are facing off today. Team Sonic Racing and Rise of the Triad Ludicrous Edition. Now starting off here with our first game, that being Team Sonic Racing. This being the third game in the quadrilogy of the modern Sonic racing games. And to be more specific, it had a very high uphill battle to follow up the masterpiece that is Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed. And this was actually a game that I was pretty hyped for when it first came out, or got teased, since I really wanted to see how they would try and one-up Transformed. And well, what this game tries is a whole new team mechanic, where you're not just racing alone, you're racing alongside two other teammates and they try to help you out as you try to help them out. Since just because you manage to get first doesn't mean they will get high positions and then you don't get as many points as other teams. So you try to help each other out by giving items that you might not need to your teammates. And eventually after enough team actions you'll get the equivalent of the star move. And overall I'll say this is a good idea in theory. But in practice, this is probably my least favorite Sonic racing game. Not even necessarily because it's bad, but because it's one of those games that's so average it just hurts. I just don't get anything out of it. I'd rather be playing Transformed or even Crossworlds. I mean, on top of the just averageness of this game, there's stuff that I legitimately don't like. Like the fact that it got rid of the boat and plane sections, now it's just back to all cars. Or how it's nothing but Sonic characters now, no other Sega properties. Or how they weirdly made it canon that them racing was actually a part of the main Sonic universe now, since they decided to give this game a story for some reason. But at the end of the day, with all of that aside, I will say that this is a perfectly fine game. It's just one I never particularly liked. And that's really all I gotta say about it. Now we will move on to my next game here, that being Rise of the Triad Ludicrous Edition. This being one of those classic old school MS-DOS first-person shooters from the 90s that was re-released onto modern consoles and PC. And me being a lover of these types of games, I decided to check this one out. And well, if I'm being completely honest, this is the only one of them I played that really didn't grab me immediately. Since I don't know, there's just something lacking about it. For example, the very bland looking levels. I honestly have no clue what you're supposed to even be in. I think you're supposed to be in a castle or a dungeon, but I have no clue. You can't tell. Or how I even don't know what the story of the game is. I'm actually pretty sure it has something to do with Nazis, but I have no clue because the enemies don't look like Nazis. And while playing, it seems like the big thing this game was going for was verticality, which is something I'm not really that interested in. And it doesn't help that there's little things that annoy me, like the fact that you can't keep all weapons that you pick up, or how the health is represented through a bar instead of numbers. or how the game has a life system despite the fact that you could save, and I'm like pretty sure you could probably save in the original version too. I don't know, the one like benefit of the doubt I'll give this game is that I haven't played it all the way through. I have played it, and even a bit more so for the sake of this video, so at the very least there is the potential of the farther I get into the game, the better it will be. But that's really all I gotta say about this game. So now we find ourselves back at the question at hand. Which of these two games would I rather play? And well, after everything that I've said, it's pretty clear that I'm not a fan of really either of these games. Them both just lacking in areas that don't make the game fun for me, and I'd honestly probably play neither. But unfortunately, that's not a choice here. But when it comes to which of these two games I would actually choose, it comes down to really one thing. And that one thing, for me at least, would be familiarity. That is because I am very familiar with Team Sonic Racing. I have seen everything this game has to offer, up and down and all around. And even then, I still don't like it. But when it comes to the Rise of the Triad, I am less familiar with it. I have played significantly less of it, and there's still more to explore within it, and still the chance of me actually ending up liking the game after playing it more. So for those reasons, I would choose Rise of the Triad Ludicrous Edition over Team Sonic Racing. So congratulations to Rise of the Triad, you managed to win a race against the fastest thing alive. And that concludes the video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time, so we could see which two new randomly selected games are facing off against each other next. Bye for now.